All right, here in Delaware Park, headed out today to South Park, the other beautiful city park that I ride to a lot. South Park's a great place to ride to because it's a nice and easy place to get laps in. It's far enough away. You can go do laps, come back and get a nice 25-30 miles in from where we are. Today, let's talk about frustrations. Man, I tell you, these last bunch of months have been so extremely frustrating for me. And at the same time, I realize that as a privileged white person, that my frustrations aren't even the half of it compared to what a lot of our brothers and sisters are going through. And I will tell you, as someone who works in the school district, I have been trained in culturally responsive learning and all of the literature that goes along with it, white privilege. And I read it all and absorbed it and tried to make it part of who I am. It's true. But yet, between the coronavirus and the struggles that are going on politically and socially, it's been frustrating. So let's talk today about some frustrations. So here's 10 things that frustrate the shit out of me. Alright, so let's talk about this. Number one, the president is an ass. Not only is he making all the matters worse, from the coronavirus to the social problems in this country, especially revolving around Black Lives Matter, he is making it worse, and he is also putting us all in danger with his misguidance. He frustrates the shit out of me personally because he and his media outlets are corrupting the minds of people who should know better. Number two, what about unions? We've been out of work and teaching remotely at school for the last 3 or 4 months. The great teachers have done a great job. The lousy teachers have done nothing. The union does nothing but try to protect those lousy workers. And the police unions do the same for their constituents who are bad for people. Wouldn't it be nice if the unions went out and they did things for the better of things? If teaching unions were for the betterment of education and police unions were for the betterment of society instead of protecting their own because they get some dues paid to them every month. That's a heavy number two for me. Number three, not so far on this ride, but drivers. Drivers have been terrible during this pandemic. I think the sense of frustration is spilling out onto the streets. And even though many cyclists are saying how it's never been a better time to ride outside, I have to disagree. I think even with the fewer cars out here, the ones that are out here are taking a lot of chances, blowing by you real close and just being jerk-offs in general. Pay attention. Perfect time for that too. You saw that lady walk right in front of me. Not a care in the world. So self-entitled. I think the sense of self-entitlement has gone through the roof. I also think it's part of the reason why people are responding poorly sometimes to the Black Lives Matter movement, because their entitlement goes so deep and so beyond belief that they don't even realize it. And that goes right into number 5. People not social distancing. And I apologize if you've called me and asked me to ride with you. I didn't see the guidelines say that was okay, and I'm sure not riding with a mask. So my apologies to you, but social distancing is going to keep people safe. So is washing their hands and doing other things like that. So that's number 5. Practicing social distancing is key, and there's too many people not doing it, and that's unacceptable. All right, number 6. Number 6 I kind of touched on already, but number 6 is the media. The media should not be sending out political messages, and yet Fox News and MSNBC and CNN, honestly, one of them is just as bad as the other. Why can't we just get news about what's actually happening? Especially when it comes to the politicizing of the pandemic. You know, we can't even get good medical information because we hear one person say this and another person criticize them on that. So the media outlets need to be more responsible. That's number 6. Number 7, and this one should have been number 1, social media. Everybody's turned into a media outlet nowadays. This is the first time I've really ever had a go-off session on the bike, but people on social media passing off bullshit, even the facts, people posting things in memes that aren't even true, posting one side or the other on all of the different issues going on. Wear a mask. Don't wear a mask. The government's controlling us. The government's not doing enough. Black Lives Matter. The police are our best friends. Every side of it. It needs to stop. I turned it off. I turned it off for the most part. I go online only to see my friends' pictures of their kids and maybe some cool postings of 80 songs I love that I forgot about from my buddy Josh. That was a test to see if he's watching. So that's number 7. Number 8, the streets. I don't know if it's because of being shut down for the... Whoa, let me start over again. Number 8 has got to be the streets. I don't know if it's because of being shut down from the pandemic or not, but the street repairs in the city. The street repairs in the city just have to be about the worst I've ever seen them. This is about the worst status for these streets I've seen in a long, long time. And whereas Tonawanda and other places, the streets have never been better. Buffalo is just getting worse. So that's number 8. And number 9, missing friends. I just ran into a friend from work there when I shot the video of some of the murals that they're drawing over the boarded up buildings. And she was asking if I was going on a group ride, and I said no, I'm still social distancing, but missing friends, missing riding with friends has got to be one of the most important things. And then number 10, of course, has to be missing family. And when you see them having the social distance and having to stay away, mom and dad and the in-laws, We did see them yesterday, but at the same time, you know, it sucks not being able to give them a hug. I know my daughter felt terrible the other day at my parents not being able to hug my dad. And there's an example of the bad street. So that's got to be my list of 10 most frustrating things in the last couple months. All right, so let's go on. All right, so down here at the marina on the way to South Buffalo, little U-turn, little side trip. So you got to be asking yourself, Bob, you're always positive on these vlogs. Why would you spout off with the top 10 most frustrating things going on? Well, I'll tell you why. You can do something about this stuff. Get out on your bike, exercise, follow the precautions, and wash your hands. I was watching a video today, Mel Robbins. I don't even know who really she is, but she pops up in my YouTube feed once in a while. And she was talking about having control and what you can do when things get overwhelming. You have to forgive me on that. These streets are so bad. One hand with the GoPro, and these potholes are just brutal. So she talked about having control over things. She talked about one of her friends who is a F-14 pilot, the first female F-14 pilot in the history of the Navy. I believe it's the Navy. And she talked about when things get overwhelming, she looks at 3 things and limits the focus of her control. What are 3 things that she can immediately take control over? So for example, she mentioned if your kids are out and about, like normal kids would be at this time of year, make sure they wear masks. Make sure when they come home they wash their hands. Just try to take control of the things you have control over. So I know for me, I have started to take some supplements for nerves and things like that to keep me calm. I'm getting out on the bike as much as I can, preoccupying myself with video and music, pouring myself into my work, which has been tough every day, 8 to 3. Really trying to meet the needs of everybody who needs me at school, and then working much later after hours to get ready for summer school, and also to get virtual graduations and stuff like that ready. So take control over the things that you can. Look to see what the 3 things that worry you the most are, and try to take control of them. For me, you know, I worry about people not wearing their masks, so I try to avoid densely populated spaces, and when I do, I have mine on. I try to change my routes to be better suited for not having to stop at places like that. You know, I worry about being sick, so I try to get out and be healthy, and I try to monitor my recovery to make sure I don't push myself too far over the red too many days in a row and then get sick. So for me, especially, the Whoop strap has been really important in that. And another thing that's been frustrating me lately is the videos and improving the quality and the music. So I have taken some time to change a few things about the way I record and my sources for music. I hate getting dinged for copyright when I use someone else's samples to mix, and then I find out that the samples are copywritten. So now I'm creating all original stuff. Had to buy a few programs to supplement my studio, but everything you hear from now on should be original, either a MIDI file or guitar from me. One of the things that's helping me to be less frustrated, because I'm enjoying it. So finally in South Park, beautiful lot of people out on the golf course, which is awesome. Some walkers and riders, but honestly, this park is always quiet. It also has in it the botanical gardens, which if you come to walk, you might as well go stop in. I'm not sure if it's open yet, but when it is open, it's beautiful. Just a great park. This is a great place to come to get some laps in. Relatively flat, little hill sort of like Delaware has. So I'm at about 13 miles right now from the house. So what I usually do, come in, do laps so I get to about 20, then head home, and it gives me almost 35 miles, which is a great ride. And the second half of it, from downtown out here, there's really not many stops. So picking a good route is really important. That was the boss that we're calling with a all-call robocall, wishing everybody happy Father's Day. So I think we'll stop there. On that note, I'll say, as a father myself, I am very thankful for my kids, and I am thankful for my own dad, who is an amazing man. Gonna be 87 this year. An amazing guy, sweetest man in the world. Sorry, there's a hose there, I had to jump. Amazing guy. So happy Father's Day to everybody watching this. This should be out tomorrow or later today, which is Saturday. And have a great week. Try to remember to look at those 3 things you can control and work on those, because life does get frustrating. And I apologize for the rant, but this was probably the most personal video I've done yet. So, I don't know. You gotta say something after a while. Couldn't keep my mouth shut, because I know that keeping my mouth shut about some of those issues is just gonna make my head explode one day. So enjoy the rest of your day. Be good to each other and take care.